President's words, they come after another night of protests in Minneapolis following a second ICE-related shooting. The Department of Homeland Security calling it self-defense as they say it happened during a struggle.
Unclear what exactly is going on. There appears to be a woman and small children inside the home. They are on the phone with 911 calling for help, saying that someone has been shot, saying that agents were trying to get into the home. It is really unclear, though, what was happening. If the agents were in fact trying to get in the home, did they get in the home? Were shots fired? We just don't know at that point what happened. We did reach out, of course, to DHS for some clarity. Did not hear back on those specific questions. Simone? 5 neighbors in St. Paul are concerned after they say federal agents raided a home on their street without a warrant and took away 6 people.
They say agents even hauled off a 12-year-old boy who is now at an immigration center in Texas. Fox 9's Mike Manzoni is live in St. Paul tonight. Mike, several cameras inside the home captured what happened.
Yeah, agents stormed in and then searched the house room by room. The neighbors say that the agents told them it had something to do with a narcotics investigation, but the neighbors are suspicious because of something caught on camera just moments before that raid.
They started banging the door, kicked the door in.
This video shows the moment federal agents stormed into a house in St. Paul on Thursday. It happened on Nevada Avenue East around 5 o'clock. Neighbor Jeffrey Jones watched it all unfold.
It's different when it hits so close to home, you know, right next door to you, and actually having a relationship with these people.
In the video, you see a woman holding an infant. Neighbors say agents let her and the baby stay, but they took everyone else, including a 12-year-old boy.
She asked for the warrant. They said they had one, but they never showed it to her.
Family friend Francis Clatworthy tried to pick up the boy from a Twin Cities federal building on Friday, but had no luck.
They say that they sent him to San Antonio.
Neighbors say agents told them it was all part of a narcotics investigation and had nothing to do with immigration. But Sean Piet is suspicious because this video from his outdoor camera shows someone dropping off a package just minutes before the raid.
Federal agents inside were telling him there's drugs in it, and if no one inside at the time claimed that package, that they were going to take everybody in the house.
And one other thing struck them as odd. This warrant from a state, not a federal court, showed up on the doorstep the day after the raid. But it does not look exactly like this sample warrant that a state court spokesman sent us. It doesn't have a case number or a file stamp, and there's no record that agents ever filed it, though they do have 10 days to do that.
This morning they dropped it off here. The piece of paper that said that they had a warrant to search the house.
And she says the family came here from Venezuela 3 years ago and added that the adults all have work permits as well as real IDs. We, of course, reached out to federal officials for more information, but haven't heard back yet. We're live in St. Paul. Mike Manzoni, Fox 9.
Tensions remain high tonight in Minneapolis, and with the city on edge, we are now hearing from a family who claims their baby was hurt when ICE agents threw tear gas into their vehicle.
Let's get more details now. Dick Brennan here with more on that and President Trump's latest message, Dick.
That's right, Jessica and Christine. The family with 6 children say they were just trying to get home, but they got caught in the middle of the chaos, and then they say ICE agents tossed tear gas.
It's like they didn't have no care in the world for us, so.
And the windows was down. You can see my kids in the car. The lights were on.
Sean Jackson's still shaken by his family's run-in with ICE agents. Jackson, his wife, and 6 young children were driving home from basketball practice when they found themselves caught between protesters and ICE agents.
They stopped at my car and they proceeded to yell in it and said, "Get out of here." Well, they used profanity. And my husband screamed and said, "We're trying."
Jackson says the agents released a canister of tear gas under the car.
Within seconds, there was a big boom, and our car was up in the air, and we slammed down, and all of our airbags deployed, all of our doors locked, and tear gas just started forming. A ball of gas just started forming around the car.
Jackson says she desperately tried to help all of her children out of the car, the last one to be rescued, her 6-month-old baby boy.
And when he came in, he was like lifeless, like it was like foam or bubbles coming out of his mouth. I had to give him mouth-to-mouth and CPR. I couldn't even breathe myself, and all I remember is like between every breath I was saying, "I'm gonna give you every breath I have until you get yours back.
Jackson says total strangers helped them to safety and that now physically they're okay, but they're still traumatized. The Department of Homeland Security issued a statement saying DHS law enforcement never targeted this family or their innocent children, adding law enforcement followed their training and reasonably deployed crowd control measures. President Trump had threatened to use the Insurrection Act to send in the military to Minneapolis.
And I don't think there's any reason right now to use it, but if I needed it, I'd use it.
We should point out that originally the Department of Homeland Security had put out a post suggesting the Jackson parents were agitators who had brought their children into the demonstrations, but DHS has since taken that post down. Jessica and Christine.
Thank you, Dick.
Also breaking developments from Minneapolis at this hour. Chaos erupting on the streets once again for the second time in a week now. A federal officer opening fire. A man wounded. DHS says he fled officers. Protesters clashing with law enforcement afterward. Tonight, the woman seen being pulled from her car. We now hear from her what she says she told ICE agents as they tried to pull her out. And President Trump tonight now threatening to invoke the Insurrection Act, which would allow him to send in the U.S. military. ABC's Faith Abube from Minneapolis again tonight.
Tonight, new protests in the Twin Cities after the second ICE-involved shooting in Minneapolis in a week. And now President Trump is threatening to send in military troops. Overnight, an ICE agent shot and wounded Venezuelan national Julio Cesar Sosa Celis. Homeland Security officials say Celis fled to a nearby home during a targeted traffic stop. And during the struggle, two men came out of the home and attacked the agent with a shovel and a broom handle. All three men are now in custody. As word of the shooting spread, some 200 protesters swarmed the scene, throwing fireworks, smashing vehicles, and fighting with police. The shooting comes a week after ICE agent Jonathan Ross shot Renee Good, and as some 3,000 federal agents roamed the city, pulling some from their cars. Many were frightened, and this interaction,
where were you born?
Recorded by resident Nimka Omar, a look at what it's like to be questioned.
Do you have an ID on you, ma'am?
I don't need an ID to walk around in my city. This is my
okay,
city.
Do you have some ID then, please?
I don't need an ID.
If not, we're going to put you in the vehicle and we're going to ID you.
I am U.S. citizen.
All right, can we see an ID, please?
I am U.S. citizen.
She refused to show identification, and eventually they left. Tonight, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey outraged over these stops.
I've seen conduct from ICE that is disgusting and is intolerable. If it were your city, it would be unacceptable there too.
But calling for residents to stay peaceful.
For anyone that is taking the bait tonight, stop. We cannot counter Donald Trump's chaos with our own brand of chaos.
And tonight, President Trump threatening the Insurrection Act, writing on social media, if the corrupt politicians of Minnesota don't obey the law and stop the professional agitators and insurrectionists from attacking the patriots of ICE, who are only trying to do their job, I will institute the Insurrection Act. The Insurrection Act would give the president the power to deploy U.S. military forces in Minnesota. Minnesota's Governor Tim Walz is not asking for the military. He's asking to get ICE out.
To Donald Trump and Kristi Noem, end this occupation. You've done enough.
And David, we've shown you video of a woman being pulled out of her vehicle by ICE agents this week as she tells them that she's disabled. Aaliyah Rahman is speaking out tonight. In a statement, she says she lost consciousness and had to be taken to the hospital and feels lucky to be alive. David.
Faith Abube in Minneapolis for us. Faith, thank you.
Have you seen the recruitment ads for ICE right now?
Yeah,
They sounded better in the original German.
Exactly. Recent ad on Instagram uses a song. I've highlighted this on my Instagram that has a background in white supremacy and Proud Boys anthems.
Yeah.
Our home, oh my God, we'll have our home again. By God, we'll have our home. By blood or sweat, we'll get there yet. By God, we'll have our home.
Well, and today yesterday, they put out a tweet, basically the modernized version of the German Ein Volk, ein Reich, ein Führer.
Yeah.
They're not kidding, folks. They're not playing around anymore. They really have decided that they're going to go all in on the white supremacy.
Job done.
Madam Secretary,
how many tankers is our Coast Guard tracking that are loose, and are any of them out of the Caribbean that you're tracking worldwide?
I can't speak to the specifics of the operation, although we are watching the entire Shadow Fleet and how they're moving. And I'm very proud of our Coast Guard, how they've partnered with the Department of War to do unprecedented actions in bringing these flags under jurisdiction or these ships under jurisdiction that in many instances aren't flagged or they're affiliated with a country moving this unauthorized oil to avoid our sanction policy.
Madam Secretary, can I follow up quickly? Perhaps
when like the video that was posted this morning, do you watch any of those operations?
Absolutely,
Did you share them with the president today?
Yes, absolutely, we do. We haven't slept a lot lately between the Coast Guard operations, what they're doing in partnership with the Department of War in dealing with the Shadow Fleet, what we're also doing as far as operations with law enforcement across the country. The Department of Homeland Security is very busy. Yes.
Madam Secretary, perhaps to follow up, why are we seeing Americans being asked on the street to provide proof of citizenship in Minnesota? Is that targeted enforcement? And are you advising Americans to carry proof of citizenship?
In every situation, we're doing targeted enforcement. If we are on a target and doing an operation, there may be individuals surrounding that criminal that we may be asking who they are and why they're there and having them validate their identity. That's what we've always done, in asking people who they are so that we know who's in those surroundings. And if they are breaking our federal laws, we will detain them as well until we run that process.
Are you advising Americans to carry proof? Just to follow, are you advising Americans to carry proof of citizenship in the second half?
There needs to be an insurrection act.
Oh, I think that the president has that opportunity in the future. It's his constitutional right, and it's up to him if he wants to utilize it.
Do you think he's likely to do it?
I don't know.